batch.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
not like that. Have you attended any Kubernetes or Docker sessions of
No,
Mongo?
no, sir.
No. Okay.
This is the AWS first session.
Okay, fine.
And also,
Okay.
regarding I'm also working in a MNC company and I'm a ETL talent developer. So
Okay.
in future, I would like to include AWS Redshift as a data warehouse. So that for that I have joined this course. And also, can you cover AWS Redshift in this course?
Yeah, that is the data warehousing concept we are going to discuss in detail. Not,
Yeah.
I mean, very briefly we are going to discuss. Not we are going to go ETL concepts. Anyways, we are going to discuss in this AWS concepts like Athena, Glue, and Redshift, which we are
Okay.
going to include into this session. Okay.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Right.
Thank you.
So yeah, anyone, can you please introduce about yourself, and we'll start the session by knowing each other so that I can understand what are your level of understanding towards the cloud, or what are your level of understanding towards the infrastructure related. Okay. Yeah. I hope I am audible to you all.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, good. Yeah. So can anybody start introducing about themselves? Thanks, Satish. Thanks for your introduction. Nobody is interested to talk to the trainer. Okay. Then I have to call you with the names. Okay. We'll start with Akshay. Akshay, yesterday we had a small discussion related to, I mean, you attended the last session, right? Sorry, your voice is not audible. Can you please type me in the chat box? And Avnish Kumar. Okay. Avnish Kumar.
Hello.
Yeah, Avnish.
Yeah. Today is my first class, so I am joining. I have my 8-year experience in a technical support. Like it,
Okay.
I'm working as an IT coordinator. So I'm interested for knowledge of AWS, and I have also
Okay.
last year I completed my CCNA.
Okay, good. Okay then. So I don't want to pressurize you much on the first day of your sessions. If anybody are interested, they can open up about themselves. So no problem. But any which ways, if you have any questions, you can ask me in the end of the session. So now what is our agenda in this session? Any which ways. So this is the second demo session which we are going to discuss. So first of all, let me introduce you to the cloud computing. So what is meant by cloud computing? And then we will go ahead into the concept of AWS. Okay. So before I go into the cloud computing, I just want to make sure that my sessions will be not in a single way of, I mean, it's not in a simplex format. Okay, which means that only I'm going to talk, and I want the responses from the candidates, whoever are attending to my training. So if you have doubts, if you have questions, if I have the questions, definitely we need to have a virtual interaction. So I want my class to be a live class. I don't want my class to be a stubborn class or stub class. Okay, why? Because everywhere when the students show interest in asking the questions with the faculty, okay, or else the trainer, then only the session will be more live. Otherwise, it will be like a YouTube video. So I don't want my session to be a YouTube video. I want everyone has to interact. They have to ask the questions. If you don't have any questions also, no problem. Just interact with the trainer so that this interaction will be helpful whenever you go into an interview perspective, or else when you go into a okay. So yeah, that is what my request from my side. Everyone has to talk. Everyone has to discuss. So when we discuss, then only the session will go live. Otherwise, it will be like an YouTube video. You will be seeing, I will be telling, and we will be end up with just like an. You don't need the live sessions then. You can have the video access. We can provide you the video access. can see from there itself. So the point is, everything should be live and everywhere we need to communicate with each other. That is my requirement. Anyways, coming back to the point, the session actual timings will be 6 p.m. 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Okay, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Only the demos will be at 7 p.m. 7 to 8 p.m. IST. Okay, but actual sessions will start at 6 p.m. and it will end at 7:30 p.m. So I don't say every day it will end up at 7 o'clock, but some days it will be at 7 o'clock, some days it will be going beyond 7 o'clock or up to 7:30. You can take 1.5 hour of session. And total duration of this entire course, actually this entire course is having an immense, like a lot of syllabus that we have to cover. So it will take some 45 days, 45 to 50 days. Why? Because the topics which we are going to discuss are very vast. So definitely it is going to take some 45 to 50 sessions. And then what are the pre-requirements? Okay, to learn this concept, what are the pre-requirements? Do we have any further knowledge about any technologies? Yes, you need to have a basic understanding about the Linux, not very in deep. I don't want you to learn about security enhanced Linux. I don't want you to learn about Red Hat satellite configuration. I don't want you to learn about any further things. Okay, so I want you to learn about the basic concept of Linux. So that is about the user creation, basic commands like cd, ls, and creating a directory, removing the directory, creating a user, changing the permissions for the user. These are the concepts that you need to understand in the Linux, not much more than that. Okay, if you have a very good knowledge in Linux, regarding to the package management and as well as related to what else I can say, package management, network management. If you have a very good knowledge about those things, then that will be very helpful. But if you have a basic knowledge, that is also fine for me. Okay, that will also work. And the next one is, whenever we are discussing about the cloud computing means it is totally the concept of infrastructure and as well as some application related configurations will be there. So you need to have a basic understanding about the networking concept also. Networking, like what is meant by IP address. Okay, so how one computer or else how servers will communicate with each other. What is meant by private IP? What is meant by public IP? What are the different types of IPs that we are having? What is meant by a subnet mask? If you have that basic knowledge, that will work. Otherwise, if you don't have a knowledge, like see, I don't say that everyone will have the networking knowledge. So I will give you a basic understanding about the networking in the upcoming sessions. Okay. So these are the prerequisites to learn this cloud computing. And any which ways you want to learn the entire path, like I want to become as a cloud architect. So then how I have to get trained about these concepts. So the first and foremost thing is you need to have a basic understanding about the Linux. And then I will recommend AWS or Azure. So any one cloud. So here you are learning AWS or Azure. I don't say that you have to learn only AWS. If you are interested, you can continue with the AWS or Azure. Any one cloud is required. Later, once you have a hands-on any one of the cloud, then you can go with the DevOps. So in DevOps, you will be having so many different what you can say technologies like Git, Terraform, Jenkins, Kubernetes, Docker, and then you will have Ansible and Prometheus, Grafana, and SonarQube. So like that, Maven. There will be several build tools are also available. So you need to have a very good understanding about the DevOps. And then once you have completed, so this is more than enough to get a job. Right now in the DevOps platform, if you are having some 2 to 3 years of experience, or else into the IT industry, if you are having a very good 2 to 3 years of experience into the IT industry, then you can put 2 years or 3 years of experience. I don't want to say this. So this is about the DevOps concept. Now, when we are going into the next one, so right now everyone are talking about the multi-cloud technologies. So definitely you need to have a very good understanding about the multi-cloud technologies. Among these multi-clouds, so as we have discussed, if you learn AWS in the first portion, then after 1 year or else after 6 months, when you join the job, then only when you have the tendency to offer to learn the another cloud. If you have the time, if you have the financial status, then learn the another cloud. I don't say that right away you have to learn the other cloud also. Some companies or some institutes are including multi-cloud with DevOps. Okay, within 45 days, we are going to cover multi-cloud with DevOps or multi-cloud with DevOps within 3 to 4 months. I don't know how they are saying. Okay, for me, one cloud will take 50 days. Azure will take another 50 days. DevOps will be taking another 40 to 50 or else somewhere near to 60 days also. Why? Because the concepts which we are going to discuss here, they are very, very in detailed concepts. So that's why I am going with a single cloud called as AWS. Okay, it's not like I cannot say Azure also. I have a proficiency in Azure. I'm a Microsoft certified and I'm a AWS certified. I'm a certified Kubernetes administrator. So these are all the certifications that I am having. But right now, whenever they say multi-cloud technologies, so sometimes what I will do there is I will go to some another institute or else I will check out what are the syllabus that they are providing. So when I see the syllabus of the multi-cloud technologies, I don't find that it is very in deep. Okay. So only the basic concepts they are going to cover. But we don't want that basic concepts. We need to have a detailed analysis of each and every concept. So that is the reason I recommend you to learn a single cloud first, get hands-on experience and understand the DevOps part. Then next go to the Azure. Here, if you learn Azure, then get hands-on experience on Azure and then go to the DevOps and finally learn about the AWS environment. So step-by-step process. Don't try to have everything in a single go. Okay, it will not look good and as well as you won't understand. See, whenever we are eating a meal, we have to eat one after the other. So it is now if you are combining everything into a single plate, then it will be very, very messy and you cannot eat it also. So like that here also, whenever we are discussing about the cloud computing, learn step by step. That will help you. Otherwise, what is going to happen whenever you are trying to learn about AWS and Azure at a single time, then it will be very, very difficult for you. Or else some people will say that we will train you on AWS first and then we'll go to the Azure. But whatever the timings that they are providing, it is not at all sufficient to learn the entire concept. Okay, so that is my recommendation. But everything is in your hand. If you are interested, you can go with the multi-cloud environment at a time. But my thinking is that the student should not get more burden on learning the concept. Student, he or she, should enjoy whatever they are doing. Okay, so that's why what I am saying here is learn AWS, go for DevOps, and finally go for the multi-cloud environment. If you learn AWS in the first part, go for Azure. If you learn Azure in the first part, go for AWS. And then learn Python. As of now, Python is becoming a very predominant role in the IT industry. The entire artificial intelligence, machine learning, and everything is going on to the Python environment. So it is a recommended technology to learn. And as well as if you are interested, you can learn the data engineering, data science. Okay, so this is the way how you have to learn the entire cloud computing. By completing this entire concepts, you will be successfully become as a cloud architect, but it will take some few years of time, 3 to 4 years of time to make everything understand. I mean, to understand everything. To create an infrastructure, you will take some. You need to have some experience. Okay, so this is the concept of like how what is the path. Okay, what is the roadmap to learn the entire cloud technologies. And the next one is in AWS, what we are going to discuss. I don't want to go in detail about each and every concept. We are going to discuss about the networking concepts in AWS, like VPC is one of the networking concepts. Underlyingly inside the VPC, we will be having multiple things like VPC will be the NAT gateway, transit gateway, endpoints, and then we will have VPC peering, VPN configuration, security groups, firewalls, and then we will go to the compute perspective. In the compute, like we will have the EC2 instances to discuss, types of EC2 instance, reserved instance, spot instance, and then we will have a concept called as launch templates, cloud shell, Amazon Mission Images, and then Elastic Block Storage, snapshots, volume snapshots, and load balancers like application load balancer, network load balancer, auto scaling groups, global accelerator, CloudFront. These are all comes under the compute. And as well as Route 53 is also we are going to discuss about the Route 53 also. And then we will discuss about the security concepts. So security wins, we will go through the concept of IAM, identity and access management, where we will be discussing about what is meant by user, role, policy creation with the help of JSON. And then we will be discussing about the concepts related to Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, integrating the Azure Active Directory users into the AWS environment, and AWS organization, and service. And then we will be discussing about so many different policies. Okay, so these are all comes under the IAM. And then we will discuss about the storage concept. Storage means S3, management of S3 buckets, properties, and storage gateway. These are all the things that we are going to discuss. And then we will be discussing about the concepts related to Elastic Beanstalk, which is a PaaS service, and then SQS, SNS, DynamoDB, and then we'll be discussing about the concepts related to what was the next one? Yeah, Lambda. These are all comes under the serverless architecture. And as well as CloudFront is also included here. But anyways, we will discuss about that apparently. And then we will be discussing in the security, we will be discussing about WAF and server hardening and AWS inspector. These are all the concepts that we will be covering in the security concepts. And finally, we will be discussing about monitoring tools like CloudWatch, okay, CloudFormation, and then we'll discuss about the data science, or else the tools which we are going to use like AWS Glue, Athena, and Redshift. Okay, not very in detail about Redshift, but the basic concepts of the Redshift we are going to cover. Why? Because it's a very vast concepts. So we will be discussing about what are related to AWS. We are going to discuss about these things. And then we'll discuss about AWS DevOps. So this is not the actual DevOps. Okay, AWS DevOps means you will have code commit is not there. So previously we used to have the code commit like GitHub, but now we don't have the code commit tool. It is duplicated. We will have the code pipeline, code artifact, and then there is another concept called as Cloud9. Cloud9, or just forgot one second. So in AWS DevOps, we are going to cover all these things. So you see here, developer tools, yeah, Cloud9. So Cloud9 also we are going to discuss. You might get an interview questions related to this Cloud9 also. We'll discuss about these configurations. And then finally, we'll be ending with the cloud formation. And with that, our 45 to 50 days of training will be completed, 50 working hours. Okay, it might take 2 months, 2 months or 2.5 months also, depending on the what are the classes that we are going. Okay, so this is the entire concepts of AWS which we are going to cover in the entire. This is the entire syllabus. I just gave you the blueprint, but when you go into the syllabus which is provided by the DURGASOFT, you can see the in detail categorized syllabus over there. Okay, so now I hope I made it very clear for everyone. Okay, so this is about the AWS syllabus which we are going to cover, and then let us discuss about the cloud computing. Now, what is meant by cloud computing? Right now, everyone, every tech industry, every employee is habituated to hear this particular word called as cloud computing. Do you have a very good knowledge about? So anyways, the managers are going to ask, do you have a knowledge about the cloud computing? So what is meant by cloud computing? What did you know about the cloud computing? Can anybody tell me about that? Yeah, we have the sessions only on the weekdays. Weekends you will have there are no sessions on the weekends. Now, before I go into the concept of cloud computing, let us discuss about what do you know about cloud computing? Yes, guys. Anyone can start from their end. What do you know about cloud? Come on, you need to talk. See, if you want me to continue with the session without interacting with you, I can continue the session. I don't even ask you understand or not. Why? Because if you are not responding to me, then it is not necessary for me to respond you back. Why? Because it's a mutual understanding. No? So I will tell you, I will make sure everything you will understand. I will try to make sure everything you will get understand. But anyways, if I ask you a question, you need to answer that, right? So if you don't know, also say that I don't know. Nobody is going to judge you. See, the day one, I just want to share you one of my experience when I joined into one of the tech industry in 2012, 2013, and on that particular time. So I don't know what is a computer. So when I joined, my senior asked me, what is a computer? What is a computer? What is hardware? So I started my career as a system engineer. When I started my career as a system engineer, I don't even know what is what. What is a computer? What is I am from the electrical background. So to openly say that I am from the electrical background. If I don't interact with my seniors, if I don't interact with my trainers, if I don't interact with the person who is knowledgeable, then I will not be able to grab the opportunity to tell the concepts to you. Okay. So right now I am in a position that I am working for a top class MNC company where we used to work for banks, and my position is that I need to work for the development, research and development wing. I am into research and development wing as a DevSecOps administrator. Okay, like DevSecOps engineer, level 5 consultant. That is my position. So if you see my graph, I started as a system engineer without knowing without knowing anything related to the computer. But now if you see me, I was in a high level cadre. So the point is, when we interact with the faculties and trainers, then only we will be able to grab the opportunity, grab the knowledge. Otherwise, no one is going to help you on this. I'm very, very confident about this. If you talk, then only it will be helpful. So if anybody hurts, I'm really sorry about this, but this is the fact. Yeah. Anyways, can you please tell me what is meant by cloud computing?
Cloud computing technology who's developed by provided to the service provider who the all data managed by the service provider like AWS and Azure, and we provide the infrastructure developed by the own. We have a pay for the which we for the pay for the those services we are utilizing at a time.
Okay. So,
We need like a PC installation that taken the charges given to the Azure and the AWS service provider. So we have how much time to duration we have used. So that time of the space will be. The cost is instead using the technology, the cloud, whole data managed by the infrastructure by the AWS, Azure, GCP, this type of technology will be managed by the data center. We did not create any local server in our office. This technology called as the tech cloud computing. My voice is audible?
yeah, Anish, that is correct. So we'll discuss about this. I just want to grab some more answers from the other candidates. Let us.
Hi, Chaitanya. Yeah, by using cloud computing, we store the data in a multiple locations. Like by using internet, we can access the data in wherever you go or some other locations as well.
So your way of saying this, accessing the data over the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So Avnish said that technology, cloud computing is a technology where data is managed by the cloud service provider called as AWS and Azure. That is what Avnish has said. Okay. Any other person? At least one more answer. Uma Mahesh, Tanuja.
It provides infrastructure as a service.
It provides infrastructure as a service. Okay, good. Anyways, thanks for that. At least you have responded. The point is, you need to interact. That is the only agenda in my session. Anyways, thanks for your interaction. So the concept of cloud computing, if I combine all these things, let us understand in a clear-cut manner. So cloud computing is a technology. So let me take each and every word from you. Cloud computing is a technology. Okay, technology which will provide the access to the different services. That is infrastructure as a service. We can say that, or else I will make it as which will provide the different services such as compute, storage, databases, etc. So I won't say these are the things, but rest of the services it will be provided. Okay, come on. And how it is going to provide? It will provide these services over the internet. Okay. So if you see, everything has covered. Whatever you have said, it is correct. So cloud computing is a technology which will provide the services for the clients such as compute storage databases and etc. over the internet. So now how it is going to provide? So cloud computing is a technology. Okay, who will provide this technology to us? For example, internet. Internet is a technology which will be helpful for connecting the multiple systems across the world. See, I am sitting in Hyderabad and I am delivering the lecture to you. Some people may sit in some Maharashtra and they might be hearing to my lecture. Some people may sit in Karnataka and they might hear my lecture. So now what is happening across the India, across the globe? I have the students from Africa, also America and US also. UK also. So when I am having these candidates, so across the world, they are able to connect with me. So how that is happening? Because of a technology called as internet. Internet is also one of the technology, right? It's a networking technology. Now cloud computing is also a technology. Now who will provide that? Like internet is provided by Airtel. In India, we have Airtel, BSNL, Tata, and Reliance. These are the four major companies who will provide the internet across the India. You can ask me, sir, we have Act, Pioneer. So these are all the companies which are getting the internet from those four companies only. So on top of these four companies, we have a major company called as Apipa. Sorry, not Apipa. So the company name is INA. So which will provide the internet, IP addresses to all the countries. So Apipa is an IP address. So IANA. This is the company name. Anyways, we are deviating from our topic, but the point is internet for the entire world. If I have to provide the IP addresses for the entire world, INA is the main organization who will be distributing the IP addresses. INA means Internet Assigned Number Authority. You can search in the Google also. Now, in the same manner, cloud is a technology which will be provided by some cloud service providers. There are so many cloud service providers. AWS is majorly three cloud service. You know about three cloud service providers. One is AWS, Azure, GCP, Google Cloud Platform. But there are so many another. Oracle is there. VM is there. Virtualization, your VMware. So VMware Cloud is there. And then Alibaba is there. Okay, like that, there are so many several cloud service providers are there across the world. If you are the private cloud service providers or if you are the public cloud service providers. If you see AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle, VMware Cloud, and Alibaba, these are all the public cloud service providers. So you might not heard about these three. You will be majorly hearing about AWS, Azure, and GCP. So among these three main category of cloud computing, I mean cloud service providers, we will be discussing about the AWS. Now we understand, I mean, we came to know what is meant by cloud. So if anybody asks you about the cloud computing, can you define cloud computing? You can simply provide this definition. That's more than enough. Cloud computing is a technology which will provide the services for the end customers or else for the clients, such as EC2 instance, databases, storage, and etc. over the internet. So if you say this definition, that is well and good. Now, what is mean by this actual cloud? Why we need to go for the cloud? Now you understand what is cloud. Then why we need to go for this cloud computing? So why you will have the question. Why means we have problems with the on-premises environment. See, for example, right now AI is leading the entire market. That doesn't mean that AI is not there previously. So AI is there, but now it is leading the market. The point is why we need to go for the AI. What is the necessity? Because easing of it is providing more comfort. Why every company is going across the AI? Because to reduce the manpower, to make more profits, and to make the work happen very, very fastly. When you compare with the manpower, AI is doing the work very fastly. But when you compare with the mistakes, so whatever the prompts that you are providing, if you provide a wrong prompt, it is going to it is going to give a wrong output also. So how much advantage is there? The same disadvantage is also there. So the same manner, when we go for the on-premises environment, see, just imagine you have an application, okay? Just like, for example, WhatsApp is there, or else, for example, Amazon is there, Amazon e-commerce website. How many people knows that, I don't want to open up for when the Amazon was introduced, not AWS, I'm talking about the e-commerce website. From when you are using the Amazon website to purchase anything, and from when you are using Amazon Prime Video, just forget about the Prime. From when you are using the e-commerce website of Amazon? Tell me. I am using from 2013. From when you are using Amazon?
Maybe 2016.
2016. When Geo was introduced, now everything was globalized. I understand
Yes.
that from 2016 only, we have the Flipkart. More number of people are accessing the Flipkart. Netflix came into the picture. When Geo has turned everything, it revolutionized everything. So the internet has changed everything. Now everyone are sitting in the home, and previously when we want to when we want to deposit some money in the bank, it will take some half of our day. So we have to go to the bank, we need to write the deposit form, we have to stand in the line, and then we have to put the deposit form in the other account. But right now we have got a flexibility to use the UPI apps. Right now we are having Phone Pay, Google Pay. So these are all came because of the internet, heavily using internet. And now, previously, if you go to 2018, most number of people don't know about the OTT platforms. Now what is happening? Everywhere you are having OTT platforms. So everyone are watching the movies. Nowadays, no people are going to the theaters. Everyone are getting, okay, within 1 month we are going to get the movie. Why I need to go for the theater? Again, waste of money. I already have the OTT subscription. So like that, what is happening? Everything has changed. You can sit in your home. Everything will come to your lap itself. So that much easily it is happened. So now, as this internet has revolutionized, these many applications has came into the picture. So you are saying that Amazon was introduced. You are using Amazon from 2016. I said that I am using Amazon from 2013, but actually Amazon was introduced in the year 1996 as a e-commerce bookseller. Later in 2006, because of this AWS was introduced, it is slowly, gradually increasing its wings, and now it has been a world e-commerce website. Anyways, now just understand that you have designed an application in such a way that you also designed an e-commerce website for your company. Now, at the initial days itself, try to understand initial days itself whether that application will be a super hit. Everyone will be using that application. For example, if you say WhatsApp was introduced in the year 2009. Nobody knows that. Okay. But now everyone are using the WhatsApp. Without, I mean, in a smartphone without WhatsApp, there is no smartphone is there. In the same manner, at the time of like 2009, 2010, nobody knows about the WhatsApp. But the WhatsApp was introduced in the year 2009. So at the starting stages, the load on that application will be very, very low. In the same manner, if you introduced or else if you invented a new application, okay, so that new application will not be trustable by so many people. So that new application will be running on a single server, okay, running on a single mission. Just forget server and all the things. Just use a very, very low level terms. That is, there is a mission like computer, but the hardware is very high. In your computer, you are having 16 GB of RAM. The server will have some 64 GB to 128 GB or 256 GB of RAM. In your computer, you will have the Intel i5 processor, i7 processor. But when you go to the server, you will have Intel Xenon processor like that. So here you are having a server. In this server, you are running an application. So the application is running. At the initial stages, there is no load on the server. So the server is able to respond for the request. Everything is fine. Suddenly what happened means one fine day, everyone, I mean, whatever the e-commerce website that is running, you have given a bumper offer saying that in this application, if you purchase anything, we are going to give you 50% off. Okay, 50% off or 60% flat discount will be there. It is not up to discount, it is a flat discount which we are providing up to 60%. Now what happens at the same time, huge number of crowd in the initial data in the initial days, the crowd flow will be very less. But once the people trust your brand, trust your application, then lot of people will be trying to access your application. When lots and lots of people are trying to access application, will this single server is sufficient to acknowledge that load, whatever the load is coming, whether this single server is sufficient to supply the resources or will supply the application to that end customers? Is it possible if I have a single server? Let me give you a layman example. For example, there is a DMart is there. In DMart, they have announced an offer that we are going to give you anything for flat 60%. So if you purchase some internal goods for your home, so the 100 rupees, whatever the 100 rupees valued item that you purchase, we will give it for 40 rupees only. When I say that, and if I have only 10 sales managers or sales persons, only 10 persons are there at the counter, will they are able to sustain for the load? Do you understand what I'm asking? Do you understand or not?
Yes, sir, we are following.
So whether they will be sustainable to that load?
No, sir, no.
No, we need to have more number of people. Here also we need to have more servers. So in the on-premises environment, if you want to get a server, it's a very hectic task. What you have to do, first of all, you need to communicate the same to the accounts team saying that we need to have the other server. Single server is not sufficient. We want certain funds to be released. Then accounts team will say that how much. Then you have to get the quotation from the vendor. It might be the server vendors like Dell, HP, or else any another third-party vendors. You will communicate. So they are called as OEM. Okay. So when you go to them and get that particular what I can say the slip. Okay. So what is the cost of the server and all the things? Okay. So now what is going to happen? Then the accounts team will release the money. You have to again communicate the same with the vendor. And then vendor will say that it will take some 2 days to ship the equipment to your to your office. After 2 or 3 days, the equipment will come, and directly we cannot connect the servers to the network. So that is dangerous. Why? Because I don't know. Maybe there might be some harmful viruses will be there. So what is? It might be a brand new. You cannot. You don't. I mean, you will have it out. It might be a brand. It is a brand new server, no sir. Then why can't we directly connect the server to the network? No, it is not a very good method to connect the server directly to the network. It is very good to have the server and to start the server without connecting it to the network and installing the operating system on the server, and then checking out what are the different applications that are there, and then you have to install the applications, and finally you have to connect the server to the network. If you see the process, what is happening here? You need to get the quotation, submit it to the accounts team. Accounts team has to release the funds. You need to talk to the OEM, and he has to deliver the device to you. And that device should be hardened first, or to security. We have to eliminate the security threats, and then we need to install the operating system, and then we have to install the applications, and finally we need to get it into the online. So to do this, it is going to take some 2 weeks to 3 weeks of time. At least it is going to take 2 to 3 weeks of time. So for creating a server, it is taking a lot of time. And one more thing that you need to understand here is, so you are purchasing the server. You are purchasing the server means the server is not a very cheap equipment. Like, for example, if you purchase a laptop, the laptop will come around some 60 to 75 to 80,000. If you want to purchase a desktop, the desktop will come around some 50 to 80,000. But if you want to purchase a server, that will be costing you around some bare minimum 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs minimum server. Okay. So now you are going to pay the entire amount in the upfront, in the advance itself. So when you pay the entire amount in the advance, then what is going to happen? There is huge amount of money will be spent on the servers and then networking. And then when you purchase a server, you need to have a system administrator to manage that server. You need to have a network administrator to manage the network. You need to have a security administrators to manage the entire security. And then you need to have a backup administrator to take the backup of each and every virtual machine inside the server. So now this is becoming a very big problem in the on-premises environment. So the first one is you have to pay all upfront. Upfront means paying the everything in the advance. Paying the entire amount in the advance is called as upfront. You have to pay some 2 to 3 lakhs at a time. And the second one is whenever you don't want the server, so it is not like you are paying the entire amount, but when you come to the cloud environment, it is pay as you go method. Pay as you go in the sense, for example, you are using the electricity in your home. You are using the power in your home. So in your home, if you are having only 2 fans and 2 lights, you are going to get the electricity bill of some 120 to some 200 rupees only for 2 fans and 2 lights. But if you in your home, if you are having so many lights, okay, so many lights, and there are 2 or 3 ACs, refrigerator, washing machine, and there is a huge motor and whatnot. You are having smart TV, smart gadgets, you are having laptop, desktop. So just imagine what is the power consumption rate. So at that particular point of time, you are going to get some 5,000 rupees. Now you are paying the amount for the electricity department in the concept called as pay as you go method. Pay as you go in the sense, how much of power that you have utilized, the electricity department is giving the bill to you, and you are going to pay that to the electricity department. In the same manner, in cloud computing also, what are the different servers that you are created? What are the different resources that you are created? Depending on the resources, you are going to pay it to your cloud service provider. For example, I am using a server 24/7 for some 30 days. The server cost me some 4 rupees per hour. So 30 into 24 into 4. So you can calculate the amount. So that will be somewhere near to 2,800 to 3,000 rupees. So that much amount you have to pay for the server. So if you are not using the server, okay, you shut down the server. Only for 8 hours you are using the server. And that too, for 30 days you are using the server. Each hour it will cost you around 4 rupees. So 4 into 8 into 30. So that is 960 rupees. You are going to pay only 960 rupees. Why? Because you are not using 24 hours. You are using only for 8 hours. So depending on how you are using, the cost will be there on your cloud service provider. And not only that, so when the server is running, suddenly the load on the server is increased. For example, now if you take an example, Zomato or Swiggy, they are using the cloud technology only, the Swiggy or Zomato. If you see in the morning, somewhere like 9 o'clock or else let me take from afternoon, when the lunchtime is started at 12 o'clock or 12:30. So the orders will be very huge. So then at that particular point of time, Swiggy or Zomato wants more number of servers. Why? Because so the persons who are staying as a bachelors. So they will put the orders. So many orders will come at the lunchtime. So at that particular point of time, if I am having 2 servers, that those are not sufficient. So I need to have more number of servers. And after 3 o'clock, the server count, the load will be very less. Once the lunchtime is completed, the load will be very less. And after at 7 o'clock, the load will be increased. The demand of the Swiggy and Zomato will be very high. So 7 to 11 o'clock. So the load will be very high. So 7 to 11 means 4 hours, and this is 12 to 3 means another 4 hours. 4 to 4, 8 hours. So there will be huge load only on the 8 hours. Rest of the 16 hours you can have minimum 3 to 4 servers. That is sufficient to handle the load. So at that particular point of time, in a single day only, if you see the difference, you need to have a more number of servers at a particular point of time and less number of servers at a particular point of time. So which means that we need to scale up and scale down the servers. We need to increase the server count and we need to reduce the server count. So this can be done by the cloud computing very easily. I'm not saying that we cannot do in the on-premises environment, but it is a tough job to do in the on-premises environment. Rather, we can easily do it in the cloud environment. So cloud can provide the scalability, pay as you go method, accessibility. So accessibility in the sense, for example, you have a server. So the server is created in your company. So definitely you need to be there inside your company, or else you have to use VPN to connect to the server. But cloud service providers are claiming that we will provide the servers very, very securely for you. You don't need to worry about the server security. We will provide a high security, and as well as we are going to provide you that access from anywhere. If you have the internet, you can access the server from anywhere. Okay, so that is the thing which is provided by the cloud service providers. And not only that, you will be having high availability. High availability in the sense, for example, my application is running on one of the server. I can have the same application on the another server, replica of the application on the another server. If one server is down, still we can have the application on the another server. So that will be continuously running. So that is called as high availability. We can have scalability, high availability, accessibility, and pay as you go method. These are the crucial things that are provided by the AWS. I mean, not only AWS, by any cloud service provider to us. So among those, the best cloud service provider is AWS. So why you are saying it's a best cloud service provider? The first one is the Fortune 500 companies are using the Fortune 500 companies are using AWS as the primary cloud service provider. Okay, if I have to take Netflix, Netflix is one of the primary user of your AWS cloud service provider, where 100% of their applications are running on the Netflix only. And the second one is NASA. NASA is also using AWS technology to analyze the data. Whatever the Mars rover they have sent to Mars planet. So the Mars rover is sending the data. That data will be analyzed by the AWS with the help of AWS technology only. If you have doubt, you can check in the Google also. And then PhonePe, if I have to take starting from, I mean, when you start your day till you go to the bed, whatever the technologies that you are using, whatever the applications that you are using, every application is an integral part of AWS only. If you take Geo Hotstar, it is the streaming partner. The main application will be running on EC2 instances. If you take Swiggy, Swiggy is also main partner is AWS. Swiggy, Zomato, and then what else? PhonePe. PhonePe will also running on is also running on the EC2 instances. So like that, each and every service, Redbus, okay, they are all using the AWS services only. So like that, Fortune 500 companies are using the AWS environment, and as well as the helper community. If you see in the YouTube, you will find more number of videos related to AWS. If you see in the Stack Overflow, so technical people, more number of technical people know about this website. So they will be having a very huge community of AWS engineers over there. If you have any question, they can resolve it. So more number of people are into the AWS environment. So the helping will be very, very high. So community is very high. So that's why AWS is making its path in the cloud community. So it is the top one in the cloud community. Now we are going to discuss about the AWS only. So tomorrow we will be discussing about the networking technology, what is meant by networking, what is meant by IP address, and what are the different types of IPs that we are having, and how we are going to work with the IP addresses. By tomorrow, we are going to close these demo sessions. So this is the second demo session. Tomorrow you will have the third. and that will be the final demo session. I hope you understand this today's session. If you have any questions, you can ask me now. Questions? Okay, guys, have a nice day, and we'll meet in the next session. Bye.